Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. I'm doing fantastic, truth be told. I'm still buzzing after yesterday. I've got a little bit of nerves in me. I must be honest with you. I'm a little bit nervous, not because of the situation. Well, it is the situation. I'm nervous because I'm sort of. I say sort of. I am 100% a Brentford fan today. So come on, Brentford. And then tomorrow night, I'm an Everton fan. Come on, David Moyes. That's what I'm going to be doing today, rooting for Brentford. Hopefully, they can do us a favour as they host Nottingham Forest. We've done our bit. We now need a couple of favours from other teams in the Premier League. But should Nottingham Forest fail to win today, it's going to feel good tomorrow. The next week is going to be nice. It's going to feel nice to be a West Ham fan. And it's been a little while since we felt like this, hasn't it? I'm loving everything at the minute. Fernandes in particular, Nuno's new assistant, Pablo, Tati, everything. I'm loving everything at the minute. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. This is a show where I get involved with the subscribers over the next half hour. See what you're all saying in the live chat. It's good to be a West Ham fan today, isn't it? Craven saying so many Nottingham Forest fans on X are extremely worried now and think the sacking of Nuno will come back to haunt them. I completely agree. I was enjoying it on Thursday night after they got beaten in the Europa League. There's a little bit of bickering going on about Daesh and if they should sack Daesh and stuff like that. And they've just got their new striker in from Napoli, but they remain unconvinced he's going to be the man to help them out. Steve saying, really enjoy both the win and the performance. I'm starting to think maybe safety may just be on after all. I'm really starting to believe. I'll really start believing if we get into Chelsea. The thing is, right, let me ask you this then, Steve. If you don't believe, you're not quite believing the Great Escape is on just yet, you need a bit more evidence, and that's okay. Let me ask you, let me change the question, Steve. Do you believe we can get something against Chelsea? Because I think that's what's changed. I think the belief going into games now, 3 wins on the bounce, it brings a bit of confidence and belief and a bit of hope. It's a nice feeling. David saying, when we eventually lost Carrick after being relegated, I was gutted because we all knew how good he was going to become. I have similar feelings with Fernandes. Love him, but we need to stay up to keep him. I agree with that one. Completely agree. Mitch is saying, that's exactly why we needed to win yesterday. All season, pressure's been on us. Time for us to change the wheel, apply pressure to the other fan bases and other teams. I agree. Paul saying, the biggest buzz I'm getting is the evidence being supplied by this team now. Before, we would all agree a lack of hope due to there being nothing to point to. He would also argue that's 5 games on the bounce where we look like a team that can get this done. Evidence that we can point to say, come on, you Irons. I agree. Fox is saying Paco Emes is the man of the match. It's helping. He's challenging Nuno, and that's what Nuno needed. He's done, Paco sort of visibly has done more in terms of challenging Nuno than Mark Robson had done so far under Nuno's tenure. And that's exactly what you need. I think a good leader, a good manager is someone who's willing to have someone that disagrees with them in their backroom team, but also allows them to disagree and listens to them. And yesterday when Kilman sub was coming on, you can see Paco screaming at Nuno and Nuno sort of saying something back. And I don't think it's difficult because none of us know what was said. So we can only guess. And naturally you do guess. It's hard to watch that and think nothing. You're going to have a natural thought. My natural thought was he was just telling Nuno, it was a corner. And I think you're just saying to Nuno, you can't make a change when there's a corner. You just got to be a little bit sensible. But regardless, it's a good thing that he's got someone there that's willing to contribute. As we can say, West Ham are massive everywhere we go. Still buzzing from yesterday. What a game. Major's going to be borrowing his dad's Brentford shirt for today. Need them to smash Forest and damage their goal difference. Matt, double loved that win yesterday. The missus is a Geordies and can't start in Sunderland. So we were both screaming at the TV. Brilliant. Love that, man. Mark is saying, great to see confidence building in the team. Let's hope we can keep the momentum going in our next match against Chelsea. Essex is saying how much credit has to go to the new assistant. He was walking in and out of that technical area all game yesterday and was not just sitting down. Always a bag of energy. And that's a bloody good thing to have. Brian saying the great escape is on to Chelsea. Nick said all along, we'll survive. Just for a little bit of context for those only listening, there's a laughing emoji next to Nick's comment. Matt saying, do we think Adama coming in will be Bowen potentially going to play striker again, Tati and Bowen up front? No, I think Adama would be the super sub. I'm confident Adama will get done. I know there's some talk it's off. I'm confident Traore joins us this week. But that's what I get. That's what I'm feeling today while I'm feeling good. And I'm looking ahead to the next week. Looking forward to the Brentford game today, the Leeds game tomorrow, us against Chelsea next week. I'm looking forward to it all now. This week, my motivation, if you like, is like, let's get players in. Let's get players in, plural, not just Adama. We need more. I think we need an ideal week, I think, would be to sell Paqueta and get a really good fee for him. Bring in a really good centre-back. Get in Adama to keep Nuno happy. Get in another attacking player, whether it's a central attacking midfielder, but we're not really playing with them at the minute. So I think maybe another winger would be a good thing, but someone that can maybe play second striker. It's a difficult player to go and recruit, really. Do we need another striker? Do we get an attacking midfielder so we can change it? Do we get in another winger? What type of player do we get in? But I think I'll just use the word attacking to keep it vague at this point. So centre-back, attacking player, maybe even one more. We're going to get a lot of money from Paqueta. My fear is that A, the money for Paqueta, we've already spent it, and B, that we sell Paqueta after our transfer window closes, but before the Brazilian one closes in March, and therefore we can't spend it. I will be fuming if that happens. We have to try and get him out the door now, get the money in, spend it, and we stay up. Pig saying we have Chelsea next. He's not necessarily confident, but we lose, we can't get disheartened. BD saying we're looking like a better team without Paqueta, allowing Fernandes to be more expansive. He's the engine we need. Nick is saying he doesn't care about Leeds and Forest. He's looking at Spurs. Spurs are looking at Spurs. Spurs fans are collapsing. Have you seen? Let me read out, for anyone that's unaware, let me read out Tottenham's next fixtures, right? They're 8 points ahead of us, okay? So it's a big if, but it's a little bit of fun, okay? And we've been denied fun this season because of our situation. So I'm not going to apologize for injecting a little bit of fun into my thought process here. But here, we are 8 points behind Spurs, but here is Tottenham's next fixture. So they've got Frankfurt in the Champions League this week. The next league games are as follows: home to Man City, away to Man U, home to Newcastle, home to Arsenal, away to Fulham, home to Palace, away to Liverpool. Then they've got a 6-pointer at home to Nottingham Forest, away to Sunderland, who, although we've just beaten them comfortably, they're unbeaten at the Stadium of Light, home to Brighton. And then you're into April, you're at the end of April, away to Wolves, away to Villa, home to Leeds, away to Chelsea, and home to Everton. They ain't picking up much points. I think they'll be okay. They'll be fine. I know it's too good to go down. We've proven that that's not true. I think that is the case there. 8 points is a big margin, and they'll sack Frank eventually, but it's going to be a bit of fun, isn't it? Hey? It's going to be a little bit of fun if we can suck them in there. Stephen saying, definitely loving life as a West Ham fan. This is the way I've been wanting to see us play. I've always had the feeling we will stay up. I just hope the run continues. Roger saying, I always felt it was us in Leeds and that Forest would pull away, but perhaps not. I'm now just wondering whether Palace could get sucked in as they are falling apart. Hopefully. There's always a team that drops. There's always a team that just comes down. Lloyd saying I'd take a draw against Chelsea. I don't think that's an important game. It's the one after. I have to agree with that one. I think a draw against Chelsea is a good result. It's Burnley away. Weirdly, I feel more optimistic for Chelsea away than Burnley away. Is anyone else feeling the same? Lewis saying, was at the game yesterday. Pablo and Tate do so much work off the ball. Pablo does not stop running and closing down, and it helps so much. Nick said yesterday was the first time in a long time he went to a home fixture. Nick said yesterday was the first time in a long time he wished he was at the game. I agree with that. I know what you're saying. I get that. Mark, thank you very much for the super chat and the support of the channel. Mark is saying, morning, Gio. Was a good atmosphere at the stadium. We were humming the great escapes in the Brobbey Moor Lower. West Ham boy saying the Forest and Brighton VAR calls really sting now. No one would be 6 adrift if the officials knew how to do the job, or 6 out of the relegation zone. But fantastic to see the fight in the players. In the words of Ted Lasso, believe. Colin saying, can't put my finger on what has changed, just a little bit of everything. New coaching, new players. Confidence. I think it's confidence. I think the 2 new strikers are making a difference. I think that QPR game, we had to grind that win out against QPR. But I think it really picked the players up. And they would have just relaxed. They would have had a week on the training ground. The mood was a bit better. Everyone could breathe a sigh of relief. It wasn't going in and talking about a defeat. It was going in and talking about a win. Plus, this is going to sound quite disrespectful to Burton. I don't mean it to come across like this, but I'm not going to reserve my honest opinion. When the FA Cup draw was done and we got Burton away, I wouldn't be surprised if the players thought, get in, we'll have a bit of that, because it gives us a good chance of continuing in the FA Cup as well. Because players, as fans, we love the FA Cup. And I think as a lot of English players, and we do have quite a few English players at the football club, I think they'll love the FA Cup as well. And it's an opportunity because you, as a footballer, you want to win silverware, you want to win trophies. So when you get a favourable draw, and it is a banana skin, don't get me wrong, but there was much worse draws possible in there. So I wouldn't be surprised they just got a little boost out of that draw as well. Because let's face it, if it came out that we were playing Man City away, I think everyone would have went, what's the point? What's the point? But it didn't. We got a decent draw. Hammer 99 is very happy with Tati and Pablo's work rates, but end product needs to improve. Relentless pressure from the guys. Just need a goal each to get up and running. Ringers were superb. He's got one. Tati's got one. I agree with what you're saying with Pablo. I think Pablo just needs that goal just to calm him down a little bit. Oz is saying Fernandes looks like he wants the Paqueta spot and he's ready to take an opportunity. Lewis thinks Fernandes is exceptional. Bob saying, I think we've stumbled on a core of good young players and I hope we can build on it. Anthony saying, I think 15th and 16th is in our grasp. Palace is dropping like a stone. Forest and Spurs are vulnerable, and I think Leeds are safe. Bournemouth are very up and down. Yeah, I think Leeds are safe as well, but we've just got to hope. They've got a difficult February. You haven't looked. Have a look at Leeds' fixtures next month. There's 4 tough games. I don't think they'll lose them all or anything like that, but all it takes is a couple of injuries. We know what it's like. You take a couple of injuries and suddenly you're in trouble a little bit. BD saying, Nuno saying we need more signings. The way we have played the last 2 games may encourage players to come. It may encourage the board to spend some bloody money as well. I sort of get it, right? As much as I criticise the board a lot, I sort of get it that after Forest, we were 7 points behind them. I think it's not unreasonable to think that they would have thought, oh, hang on a minute. This is not looking good. Are we sure about spending all this money? But now we're 2 points behind them. Granted, Forest could win and it's 5 again, but we've shown we can win. Nuno has shown 2 wins on the bounce now. We can win this. We can win games. They've got to spend money this week and big money as well. Not a player on loan and that's it. That's not all they can do. It's got to be full on. Pretend it's a summer transfer window and we've just stayed up. Who would we sign? Go get them ones if we can. Next saying Tati had a shot yesterday, although it didn't go in. The technique was sublime. He hits it sweet. Did it against Spurs as well. A couple of shots on the half volley where it was a very difficult connection to make, but he hit them both sweet. He's got a nice strike. Hammer Time saying it's no coincidence Nuno's new man comes in who's attack-minded and now 3 unbeaten. And he was screaming at Nuno when bringing on Max. Irons India saying this is our chance to make a run. Chelsea, the best to see is a draw. Burnley's a must-win. Man U, I'm weirdly confident for. Bournemouth, I still believe, are crap, even after. Bournemouth are just inconsistent. They've got goals in them, but they've also got goals against in them as well. Rob saying our defence still looks a bit dodgy in possession at times, but there were promising signs yesterday as confidence grew with the lead at 2-0. I thought we were just popping around quite nicely. Abu saying we need a no-nonsense centre-back with leadership. Perhaps it's Tyrone Mings, or my choice would be Maguire. Not that he's available and would even come, but we should be trying to bring in a centre-back. I think he was available before Carrick came in. Luke saying, how did your missus react when you told her about your love for Fernandes? When I told my wife, she gave me a black eye. She just sort of just shrugged at me and she might as well have just said, I don't care, go away. That was the reaction I got from her. When I was trying to tell her about Fernandes and how much I love him, she was just a bit like, whatever. Ashley saying, seen a little fight in the team in the last few games. If we get more players in for cover, then I believe we survive, but don't want to spend money to prepare for relegation. I think we've got to spend money. We've got to spend money. It sends a message. It sends a message. If you're Nuno and you're wanting to bring in players, and clearly does, he's very outspoken about it, which is a good thing. But can you imagine you go to the board and you say, oh, this centre-back is 15 million, that's your one, and then they go, no, you can have someone on loan. Basically, the board are saying to Nuno, we don't think you're going to keep us up. And we need everyone, we need every bit of confidence we can get, every bit of belief in this club. We need to really capitalise on it. And that is backing the manager in this window. Like I said, you don't have to bring in who he wants, but you've got to bring in what he wants. And if he wants a top defender, we've got to get one in, whether it's Nuno's guy, whether it's the recruitment department have highlighted this centre-back that they think is really good value for money. You've just got to try and persuade Nuno and say, look, we're bringing him in. That's your guy. That's the one. You've had Pablo. You've had Tate. You're getting Adama. And it's that I don't mind a bit of a blend to some extent, as long as there's a long-term plan here. Like in the summer, we had a bit of a blend. We had, it's disputed who's guy. But in my opinion, Potter wanted, to be fair, I think his goalkeeping coach wanted to Manson. I think he and Macaulay wanted Juve, Fernandes, Magassa, but Sullivan wanted Callum Wilson. It was a bit of a blend. It's worked out okay. But if you could say to Nuno, you've had three of your players. We're going to bring in this centre back, and that's that. And hopefully, just use him. But saying that, listen, today both man panels have both had 2 games as a partnership back to back now. Osbedian saying, in fairness, the whole stadium screams at Nuno when he wants to bring on Kilman. The real Simpson saying, you can see the confidence throughout the side playing for each other and the manager. No coincidence that Paqueta is not part of this. Nick saying Souček does so much off the ball. The amount of players he makes unavailable just from positions he gets into. Nobody does it better than him. Abu saying we also need a winger/attacker as well as Adama, so we have options from the bench. And dare to say we should bring in another centre midfielder, or will we now play Ward-Prowse? I think he will play Ward-Prowse. Steve saying, any update on Eric Dyer? No, that's just disappeared completely. I think that was agent talking. I think the people on the West Ham reporting side of things, I think they just went along with it. I think there was maybe a report out there we were offered Dyer, and they just repeated it just in case it happened. And they can say, well, we called it. Put it like this, right? Put it this way. Earlier in the week, the West Ham side of things were told by a top source at the club, who I believe is David Sullivan, that Rodriguez is going nowhere. So Fabrizio Romano said, so basically he came on against Spurs, looked good. It then got put out there by various people that speak to people at the club and said, Rodriguez is going nowhere now. Fabrizio Romano said, he's off to Valencia. The West Ham side of things said, no, he's not. Like, he's staying. He's staying. We've been told he's staying. Anyway, he's off to Valencia. So Sullivan just lied to the people that like information off him. So Sullivan just lied to them about Rodriguez, which, by the way, doesn't bother me. I'm not upset about that. I get upset when Sullivan lies about other things to do with the football club, but when it comes to sort of leaking fake transfer news in the interests of West Ham United, because I think that's what that was. I think Sullivan lying about Rodriguez leaving was in the interests of West Ham, so that if a deal gets done, great, away he goes. But if it doesn't get done, you've not just thrown Rodriguez under the bus. The worst thing could have been if Sullivan said, oh yeah, we're trying to get rid of him. Come down the window, he's still here. It's not a good look. It's not a good message to be sending. So it didn't bother me at all. But I think some I think Sullivan lied about what we Fabrizio Romano at the same time is reporting something different. James from E20 Zone TV saying we need 2 wins against Burnley and Man U, but Chelsea have Napoli on Wednesday away, which could benefit us. Come on, Scott McTominay, up the Napoli. Up, I can't quite reach it. Up the Napoli. Kane saying glad Wilson got on again. Imagine him going, haha, sounds mental to think. Oh, right, okay. Imagine him leaving. I thought you meant imagine him going as in you were away to quote Callum Wilson. So Callum Wilson went, haha, sounds mental to think. And I was like, why would Wilson say that? I get, right, okay. Imagine him leaving. That sounds mental. It does sound mental. And also, he came on quite early, in my opinion, like for Nuno. I thought the subs were at the right time. Paul saying, was there a guest at the game yesterday? Apparently, I've seen it. And I forgot about it. I've really messed up. I should have put that in my thumbnail and title and tried to capitalize on the views on that. Maybe I'll discuss it tomorrow. It's worth discussing, I guess. Oh, I forgot. Speaking of boxes, raffle ends tonight. I don't know why I'm pausing. Match worn dry bone shirt is the top prize. It's in here. Comes with a presentation box. Has a certificate. He wore it against Fulham last season. Match worn by Jai Bowen, but there's 4 prizes. That's one of them. There's a signed Jai Bowen shirt, a signed Freddie Potts shirt, and a Hammers Chat bundle, which has Oddballs boxers, Oddballs hat, Hammers Chat socks, and a scarf. Links in description below. Tickets are £5 each, but if you buy 2 tickets, you get a 3rd ticket for free. Raffle is tonight at 8 p.m. Thank you to everybody that has grabbed their raffle ticket. The money's coming to Hammers Chat because we are going to be buying something. Sam saying Pinnock is what the starting 11 needs more than Creswell, and the squad needs Traore and another attacking midfielder in the mould of Lingard, so we haven't got to run Summerville into the ground. I'm okay with Pinnock. Abu saying any updates on Charlie Creswell? It's getting expensive. Wolfsberger, I've had 2-3 bids rejected, and it's up at like 26, 27 million. It's getting a little bit chunky now. It feels top end. It feels a little bit expensive, but I'd still pay it because I think he's an upgrade on what we've got. I don't believe we want him, though. I don't think we want him. I think I think it's always been paper talk. In the summer, I think it was just paper talk because it was sort of West Ham need a centre back. This guy's had a really good tournament. He's available. It's an obvious transfer rumour, isn't it? And I think that's all it was, just a transfer rumour. I don't really think that he's someone we were ever after personally. Would still love him, just a bit. Getting up to 30 million now. Expensive. Hammers99 saying, very happy Nuno didn't put Wilson and Juve back on the bench yesterday after we conceded. Helped the team's energy and Wilson held it up. Could have had a pen. Juve aggressive too. I like it. Yeah, I completely agree with that. They're coming on at 3-0 and it was sort of like for like subs as well. He didn't bring Juve and Wilson on for Tati and Pablo and go to, back 5 from that point on. He stuck with his 4-4-2. I liked it. I was pleased. Phil said he's still cheaper than Kilman. He is, but Kilman's a bad barometer to compare transfer deals with. He's an outlier because we massively overpaid initially. So I don't think you should be, when you're looking at centre-backs value, Kilman is not someone you should be using, in my opinion. I think that should just be discarded. Matt saying, like, Juve, right attitude, completely agree. Brian saying he thought it looked a bit more aggressive. Maybe the African Cup of Nations has improved his defence. He was loving it when he came on, wasn't he? Juve got stuck in, won us a throw-in right in the corner against Diarra. No, he won us a free kick, sorry, and then he started celebrating, blocked a couple of passes, celebrated. I like stuff like that. Gets the crowd engaged, gets the fans up for it as well. I was really pleased with what I seen from Juve. And to be fair, at the time, I was a little bit concerned, but I'll be honest, because I thought Scarles had a really good game. I thought defensively he was fantastic yesterday. Admittedly, up against one of the poorer wingers in the league, he's just not ready yet. Meander's just not ready. I think he might go on and become a good player, but he's not a Premier League right winger yet, in my opinion. But when Scarles 1-on-1 defensively, I thought he was pretty faultless. Won us the pen as well. I thought Scars had a really good game, but Juve came on and he was also really good. So headache for Nuno next week against Chelsea. Chris took his daughter to her first game against QPR. She had a great time, and it's adorable to see a 2-year-old chanting "Irons" walking back to the station. I do wonder if that is what has changed. What do you mean? Just less kids being engaged with West Ham, or just not winning games, therefore they're upset? Philip saying, in regards to value, do you think he's better than Mavropanos and worse than Todibo? I think for value he's okay. Well, what was Todibo? 40 million? I mean, for the first year, he looked well out overpriced, but he's playing really well. Mavropanos has been okay. For 15 million, Mavropanos has been fine. I don't think we got a bargain. I don't think we overpaid. I think we've got what we paid for with Mavropanos. Barney's glad Juve is back, and Wan-Bissaka gives Scars a break to come on as sub. We need to start Callum Wilson with Chachi. I'm happy with Pablo. Martin says Todibo's a foot taller than he was at the start of the season. It's quite menacing. What a transformation. Breezy saying, I think we can say that Fernandes is possibly the player that we thought Paqueta was going to be for us, especially in terms of consistency. Barry thinks Scars is better at defending than Juve. Scott's purchased 2 tickets for the raffle. Future raffle prize of Fernandes. You can either get match worn or signed. It's difficult to get both. And a lot of collectors don't like their match worn shirts to be signed by the player because they see it as almost like graffiti. But we can maybe get a signed shirt for a raffle if people were interested. The only problem is I've usually got to get more than one. And I mean, usually got to get like quite a few of them to make it worth Fernandes' while signing them. That's the only thing. And also, if we get relegated and he leaves, I'm stuck with them. So that's why I've not got Fernandes signed shirts yet, because in the past I've had my fingers burnt where I got a few Caduce ones and I ended up stuck with them. I got rid of one whenever it was, maybe the deadline day in the summer. We did a stream and someone bought it, thankfully. But you can sometimes. It's not like Bowen. Bowen, even if Bowen left, his signed shirts are fine because he's got his name is in the history books at West Ham United. I'm a bit worried I've still got a Paqueta one. I need to have a look, but I'm a bit worried I've still got a signed Paqueta shirt. D-Save, do we think we'll go down? That's the big question, really, isn't it? And I think I'm unsure. If I'm honest with you, I'm unsure. But I'm pleased with what we've done in the last few weeks, and I've got hope back. You know, after the Nottingham Forest game, I didn't have any. I was just really, I literally did that Wednesday after. I didn't do a video on YouTube. I did a video on Patreon because we have to. But I didn't do a video on YouTube because I was just really sad because I was quite almost like we're going to go down. But 2 wins back-to-back, change of formation. And I think it will heavily rely on what we do this week in the transfer window, DC. I think we need to get players in and possibly need to spend quite a bit of money. And we need to get it right. None of this swapping Hermansen for Kinski stuff. That's to use your other Premier League loan on that is unwise. I think keep on the back burner, come transfer deadline day, and we've not loaned in another Premier League player we're not going to, then go ahead with the deal. But for now, just wait, just chill, relax yourself. I think the change of manager at Man U's not ideal. I think there maybe been 1 or 2 players at Man U we could perhaps try to pick up, but now Carrick's gone in there. I think those players are now back in the team, like Maguire and Mainu in particular. All depends on what we do and what the other teams do in the transfer window. So I appreciate I'm sitting on the fence, DC, but the honest answer is that's where I am. I'm on the fence. I'm unsure if we go down. I was confident we'd go down. I'm not so confident anymore. I'm still maybe expecting it, whether that's just like a human nature to defend your emotions, to defend your heart a little bit, which is your brain going, oh, well, we're probably still going to go down. It feels like I'm almost trying to force myself to remind myself that it's mathematically we are the team that's likely to go down. Probability is against us at this point in time, but we've got a chance. We've got a chance. Just need to spend money this week. Spend money. Get Paqueta out. get a couple of really solid players in. And if Nuno can go get someone else on his backroom team that he wants, someone else that can come in and just have another voice there, have someone else there behind you, helping you every day, maybe we've got a chance. James, thank you very much for £2 super chat saying how many wins we need. 15 games left. 5. I've always been adamant. We need 10 wins this season. I've been very, very consistent with it. Very consistent that we need 10 wins. I think 38 points, 10 wins, 8 draws. I think 38 points keeps you up. And I've said it since the start of the season. Point per game is what you need. And when you look at the league table, pick your week. Go back and have a look at the league tables all this season. Pick your week. After 5 games, you needed 5 points. After 10 games, you needed 10. Right now, Nottingham Forest have played 20. Nottingham Forest have played 22. They've got 22 points. They're 17. So at the minute, all season, up until now, a point per game has been enough to have you 17th. Not 16th. 17. And I think that's what it will take. So another 5 wins. What's that? 5 wins, 2 draws for us. I think that should be enough. But it depends on what games you win as well. Unfortunately, we're not playing Nottingham Forest. But let's just say for some reason Crystal Palace or Bournemouth got sucked into it. Those are the games you need to win. That's why the Forest game hurt so much. It wasn't just the fact that we got beat. It was the fact that they got 3 points. It was a 6-point swing. It's that you have to win the games around you. You have to beat the teams around you and stop them picking up points. But yesterday went well for us. Burnley and Spurs drawing. Wolves getting beat. Now we need Brentford to do us a favour against Nottingham Forest and Everton to do us a favour tomorrow night against Leeds United. I think Leeds United will be fine. I really do think Leeds United will be fine. But the more teams looking over their shoulders, the better. I've seen neutrals saying in the last 24 hours, going, bloody hell, West Ham are looking all right. Okay, they're not out of it, etc. Forest fans are really worried about us. That's what we need to do. We just need to keep applying pressure. I'll be honest with you. I know people are going to spit at me here. I am hoping Tottenham win against Frankfurt during the week because I want Thomas Frank to stay at that club as long as possible. Because the minute they change manager, there's a good chance they'll get someone in who's adequate because all they have to be is adequate and that'll be enough. And it sounds wild that we're discussing Spurs in a relegation battle, but I believe whilst Thomas Frank is at that football club, anyone can beat them. They've just got beaten by the team that's 18th in the Premier League and drawn against a team that's 19th in the Premier League. This weekend coming, Spurs are the team you want to play. It's not Wolves. Wolves are in better form than Spurs. It's not Burnley. They've got 5 draws in the last 7 games now. They're becoming hard to beat, Burnley. It's not us. We've just won our last 2 games. Spurs are the team you want to be playing this weekend. So we need Spurs to beat Frankfurt during the week so that Frank gets at least another couple of games in the Premier League and hopefully, and I think they will, lose those games as well. The longer he's there, the better. Just like we need Nottingham Forest to finish in the playoffs of the Europa League so they've got an extra 2 games in European football. We don't want them going through in the top 8 and we don't want them going out. We need Nottingham Forest to be in that 16 in the Europa League so that they've got a playoff round coming up later. Well, I think it's next month. It's quite quick. I think it's in February. That's what we need. I am rooting for everything to go in our favour, even if it means I've got to support Spurs in the Champions League for 1 game. Like, don't get me wrong. I hope they get absolutely annihilated in the next round. But I want Thomas Frank at that bloody club as long as possible. Anyway, Romero is keep Szoboszlai. You look at Liverpool and you think, where would Liverpool be without Szoboszlai? You're looking at Spurs thinking, where would they be without Romero's goals? How wild is that? But that's where we are. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. I'm off. I'm ready to take Grace to the park on her trike, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to watch Portsmouth, Southampton. I'm probably going to watch Newcastle, Aston Villa, but keep an eye. Brentford Forest isn't really a game that tickles my fancy, if I'm honest, although it's the one I'm most interested in. I think Newcastle Villa is more likely to be entertaining. And then we've got Arsenal, Man United later. Thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Please do drop a like on the video by clicking thumbs up if you don't mind. Subscribe to New Hammers Chat. We're getting closer to 50,000 subscribers every single day. Once we hit it, I'm taking Mrs. Gio to Miller and Carter to say thank you very much for putting up with me doing all these videos. I'll be back tomorrow, and then Tuesday night we've got the watch along for West Ham under 21s. Big game against Boston in the National League Cup, I think it's called. Trophy Cup, National EFL Trophy. I think it's the National League Cup. I think that's what it's called. That's what we've got on Tuesday night. Big game for under 21. So watch it if you can. Join me if you can. Thank you. I'll catch you in a bit.